I have made videos defending Arkham Knight, but just because I like Arkham Knight doesn't mean that the game is, perfect or excused from criticism. And I'm just gonna reply to this video called "Debunking the Worst Batman Arkham Knight Takes" from SK, who is a total Arkham Knight fanboy. And yeah, I would say Arkham Knight is like maybe the third best Arkham game. But yeah, let's just get into it. I left some comments under the video, but instead of just, leaving multiple comments talking about my grievances with some of SK's points, I'm just going to like reply to this video with my own voice and all that other kind of stuff and just record my thoughts. Let's see here, let's start. Because he says some stuff that's just flat out incorrect. In my opinion, SK is not that bright of a person, as he fell for Ranting Revengeance's rage bait, and as a result has given Ranting Revengeance way more attention, to the point where Ranting Revengeance makes $200 a month on Patreon. The problem with this video is that SK just straight up makes up some stuff about Arkham Knight's writing in order to justify some of his sloppier moments. By the way, the debunker genre has gotten pretty old on YouTube. It's gotten to the point where people just call these people who quote unquote debunk other people's points debunkers, because it's just really funny.
These past few months, if he's not late, he's exhausted.
Let's see.
Come home.
The Joker's line is arguably the most telling, because Joker mentions that Batman hasn't been himself these past few months, which is in reference to losing Jason.
So that's not really a reference to losing Jason. I mean, that's your interpretation, but one can also interpret that Batman hasn't really been himself because now he has Robin and Batgirl to help him out. There's not a single moment in any of the mainline Arkham games where we see Batman being late or looking for Jason Todd at all, unfortunately.
Hasn't been himself these past few months. If he's not late, he's exhausted. If he's not exhausted, he's preoccupied, making all kinds of silly mistakes.
And that can also imply that this is because Batman's getting older as well. But
I believe they call it.
For this DLC, with the Batgirl DLC, this DLC is mostly talking about Batgirl and Tim Drake as Robin. It never really mentions Jason Todd at all.
Baby brain.
In fact, this DLC has one really bad line where Robin comes in and is like, Robins are supposed to be lucky, right? And this is like months after, Jason Todd got kidnapped and tortured.
Best way to cure baby brain is to get rid of the baby.
He's either late to deal with the Joker, or rhymes exhausted when dealing with the Joker.
Exhausted? Arkham vs. Batman exhausted? This guy literally stopped multiple assassins in one night, and he was only 2 years in his career. Arkham vs. Batman shut down Arkham City in one night while also under the influence of being poisoned and slowly dying. The Arkham Universe version of Batman is the most powerful version of Batman I've ever seen. I don't think there's a single moment where he actually shows signs of being exhausted.
Or simply doesn't show up and has Robin or Batgirl deal with it. Why do you think that is? Oh, right, it's because he is searching for Jason and he had...
Well, the reason why he doesn't show up in the Arkham Knight Batgirl DLC, because Joker straight up says that if he sees Batman, he's going to just straight up start killing cops and Jim Gordon. So that's why we don't see Batman in the Arkham Knight DLC. Or the Batgirl Arkham Knight DLC. Not because he's exhausted or anything. It's part of Joker's game. The game this time is that Batman is not allowed to participate.
Hasn't given up, despite the false claim people keep making about the game. As far as how Jason came across his money, they explain this very clearly. First of all, it's not even his money.
Here's what I don't get.
Yeah, that's true. Although Jason's army was $3 billion, and I don't think even the richest Gotham crime lord has that kind of money. I mean, Penguin, I don't think he's rich, but not $3 billion rich. No freaking way. SK does bring up that Lex Luthor does help out with funding this army, but I don't know. The Arkham Knight guards just say it's just a rumor. I don't really take rumors as fact.
There's rumors he might need to take Gotham. Talk about overkill. There's no one left out. There is.
He didn't search the video fake to find the body, hence why he's under the impression.
By the way, why is he arguing with this random Twitter user? That's just hilarious. You're acting like Ray here is the only person that criticized Arkham Knight's story.
That Jason
like, give Twitter a break or something.
Is dead. When Jason presses him on it, Bruce literally says, "Joker sent me the tape. I saw him."
I did my due diligence. That's a fucking lie, what you're saying.
Just because Batman was sent the video faking his death doesn't mean he didn't search for the body. Eventually, Batman would realize that he doesn't have any leads and that his searches are futile.
I don't really buy that at all. Batman not having any leads. At least Arkham vs. Batman. This dude solves multiple crimes in Arkham Origins in one night. Multiple murders in one night. They're optional side quests. And with Arkham City, Batman easily finds the identity theft who was like on the loose for a while in one night. You know, like him not being able to find Jason Todd, you know, in this universe, it just comes out to me as like lazy and poorly written, you know.
Less active as Batman.
When was Batman ever less active as Batman? That's not really shown in any of the games whatsoever.
Instead of putting people in them to conveniently make way for Batman's no-kill rule. Okay.
Yep, that's true. And in fact, according to some Arkham Fact videos, they were actually planning on putting, you know, people or using hostages as like suicide bombers or whatever. But apparently the developers found that to be a little too extreme. So, yeah, they basically just had tanks that were not being controlled by people, you know, with people inside the tanks because, hey, that would violate the no-kill rule.
Okay, so I've seen this point made many times, and this is not only addressed numerous times, but...
Oh god, is he about to defend the tank usage? Oh my goodness, the tank battles are like the worst part of this game, outside of his shitty boss fights.
The story, but this presents way too many problems. First of all, putting men in the tanks would make them hesitate and hold back out of fear.
How do you know that? How do you know that? Have you ever been in the military? I met all sorts of people in the military that, you know, casually, you know, handle tanks and whatnot. I mean, there's literally an entire MOS for that, aka military job. I mean, yeah, that would be interesting, though, if the tanks were manned, but they're not because the developers couldn't figure out a way for Batman to take down the tanks without blowing them up.
Makes them prone to human error. You remove that risk entirely with drone tanks.
What? Hold on. But the drone tanks still fall under errors. They still make mistakes multiple times. The drone tank AI in this game is not that intelligent, you know. So whether or not the tanks are manned by people or not manned by people, they're still easy to trick and whatnot. I mean, the Cobra drones especially are just really stupid. All you gotta do is like sneak up behind them. In fact, since the tanks aren't manned, that means they can't hear sound. So they can't hear the loud-ass Batmobile making noise and sneaking up behind them. Like, this is some weak defense, SK. I like this game, but it's like you're trying to just excuse this game from any sort of flaws or criticism. Like, damn, go play a better Batman game at least.
They don't give up. They don't hesitate. They don't hold back. And they are not afraid of you.
And that's just a false statement by Jason, because these tanks are really stupid and easy to deal with. Now, there's another point that SK says that I think is very stupid. I'm just going to skip past him defending the tank nonsense.
If these can be, or how much he can up.
He spends like minutes trying to justify the tanks. Like, the tanks are like the worst part of the game.
All they're able to conclude is that if this is how the militia plays their cards, Batman will focus full attention to making his EMP devices as strong as possible. That enables him to walk into the tanks and break everyone out. He can even have someone remotely control the Batmobile to keep using the EMP while he does this. So he have a workaround for that as well. One which would result in wasting militia as well. At least if he blows up the tanks, that doesn't waste any men. And if any...
Jesus Christ, we get it. You like the Batmobile tank fights.
One starts getting killed as a result, people can start leaving the operation for self-preservation. That's really bad. And on top of this, it's also established that they don't even plan to kill Batman with tanks. They plan to challenge him and want him to perform at his best.
Wait, what was that? Hold on.
And want him to perform at his best.
No, they don't. There's not a single militia soldier that wants Batman to perform his best. They're always complaining about the environment of Gotham. The first meeting that the Arkham Knight has with Batman when he's in the helicopter, he literally tries to shoot him down, but then Scarecrow somehow hacks his helicopter and is like, no, we have to scare him first. Like, that is such a stupid writing moment. Like all those oh my goodness, it's like you didn't pay attention to the game.
Let's see if you can keep up with me. I'm shooting.
Like yeah, Jason's talking shit, but he straight up he doesn't want to be challenged by Batman. He genuinely wants to kill him. He just doesn't kill him immediately because Scarecrow stopped him.
The reason Jason wants the challenge is because it increases the thrill of fighting him.
Wrong. Wrongity wrong. No. The reason why Jason doesn't kill Batman is because Scarecrow won't let him. You know, it goes against their deal or something like that. Plus, the first meeting they have in the game, Scarecrow hacks Arkham Knight's helicopter, and the Arkham Knight can't shoot down Batman. It's a very stupid moment. And then when, you know, the Arkham Knight does try to fight Batman again in the helicopter, well, now Batman has his Batmobile to keep him safe. So, yeah.
Good, Dark Knight. Even better than I remember. It's gonna
But
be...
yeah, there are a lot of moments where Jason Todd is talking trash, but it's not really genuine. He 100% wants Batman dead.
even more satisfying when I kill you.
Again, he's not being
Because
again though that dialogue doesn't really work because it sounds more like a bluff. Because again, the first meeting in the game, he tries to kill Batman. So yeah.
Because in death, Batman has nothing left to fear. The more they draw this out, the more Batman is left in fear, and the more...
And that's another stupid thing too about Scarecrow. Like he's just obsessed with scaring Batman. The Scarecrow has like multiple moments to kill Batman and Arkham Knight, but just doesn't. Now with Joker, the reason why he doesn't kill Batman immediately most of the time is because Joker genuinely loves the thrill. He loves, you know, the cat chase between him and Batman. But with Scarecrow, he has more of a motivation, you know. And there are just moments where he could have just put a bullet inside Batman, and he just doesn't. And it's just very poorly written. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. I actually like Scarecrow more in Arkham Asylum, because in Arkham Asylum, Scarecrow actually had personality. He was sneaky. He would run around the asylum. He would try to use his fear toxins on Batman in a more discreet way. But then in Arkham Knight, Scarecrow is just boring and monotonous, and he talks all scary over a big screen. He's basically Hugo Strange all over again. But with Hugo Strange, he has the excuse of being an old ass man. Scarecrow, yeah, in Arkham Knight, Scarecrow's just ripping off Hugo Strange. He mostly just stands around and talks, and then he does manage to spray Batman with his fear toxin. But even then, that's not really a great moment either, because there are like moments where Batman could also just stop Scarecrow, but he just doesn't.
Taking a cheap shot on someone is to take the easy way out. And
Well, that's retarded. That's just retarded writing right there. I mean, you had years to take the easy way out when it comes to Batman, and as the games show, if you don't take out Batman immediately, he's going to make a comeback and fuck you up. So yeah, that's just retarded writing right there.
well, it carries more weight when Batman actually had a fighting chance and failed anyway. And that's more soul-crushing to Batman because he would lose hope after holding on to it for...
Lose hope. What is this, an anime? No, it would have just made way more sense to just kill him. Like, fuck crushing his soul. But no, they can't just kill him because, you know, bad writing.
fighting chance and failed anyway. And that's more soul-crushing to Batman because he would lose hope.
Even then, it doesn't really matter if Batman loses hope because Batman ends up winning anyway.
After holding on to it for so long. This criticism is so non-functional that I needed a full page just to cover this. But that
Or like full copium just to cover this. This is just bad writing, dude. Play Arkham City. It's less stupid than this game.
feels like an extremely flimsy excuse, on the level of, we can't hurt you until we've made you suffer despite having ample opportunity to kill you multiple times.
Yeah, this guy makes a good point right here. Thank you for giving him a shout out, because this guy makes a much more reasonable criticism towards the game. And you're just trying to... That's the thing about SK, he's just dick sucking the game so hard for no real reason. Like, you're allowed to like shitty writing. I like Arkham Knight, despite the fact that it's pretty shitty written at sometimes.
It feels like a plot band-aid than legit storytelling.
Hell yeah.
I don't know, this seems like a flimsy excuse to defend a criticism that doesn't make sense.
How does it not make sense? It makes way more sense for them to just kill Batman when they had the chance. instead of just trying to crush his spirit. Like that's just some anime shonen garbage right there. Like fuck off, SK.
Apparently, it's flimsy writing to make someone suffer instead of kill them immediately. If
People
flimsy
like
writing was having
this,
motivation
people like this made me glad that Arkham Knight didn't win Game of the Year.
to not do the thing you're asking why they won't do. Scarecrow strap him to a gurney at gunpoint just so we can have him unmasked before the world. Because if there's one person Batman can't overpower, it's a frail man with a pistol.
Yeah, that's a really stupid moment in the game. Like, okay, so if you haven't played Arkham Knight, during the ending, Scarecrow somehow manages to capture Robin. I mean, I guess Robin was behind a cell where he couldn't defend himself. But when I play as Robin in Arkham Knight, he's a pretty overpowered character. Once he was out of that cell, he should have put up more of a fight. In fact, why didn't Scarecrow use his fear toxin on Robin? Well, anyway. So then the Scarecrow just holds Gordon and Robin hostage up at gunpoint, and it makes no sense because there are so many moments in Arkham Origins and in Arkham City where, in fact, even in Arkham Asylum, where characters are being held at gunpoint with fully automatic weapons, by the way, and Batman's able to just take them down because this version of Batman, he's like a freaking ballet dancer. He can pretty much attack someone from 10 feet away, even when they're armed or not, But somehow Scarecrow with a pistol, Batman's like, oh no, I can't stop Scarecrow now. In fact, why didn't Batman just sneak his way into Arkham Asylum? He could have just grappled and glided to Arkham Asylum, and just sneak in and then just take down Scarecrow when his guard is down. I mean, that's how Batman stopped Zsasz in Arkham City. He just waited for Zsasz to let his guard down. That's how he stopped Riddler in Arkham City. But nah, can't have that.
So Jim and Tim are literally being held hostage.
Again, hostage situations in the Arkham games, they don't work out. If you play these games, you know how easy it is for Batman to take down people holding others hostage. In fact, in Arkham City, in the church, when Cash and the other Arkham City police people, or whatever they're called, the medical team, when they're being held hostage by Harley Quinn's men, Batman literally says, four guards, multiple hostages, this is going to be easy. He didn't directly say that, but he did say it was easy. So, yeah, bullshit. Batman not being able to take down Scarecrow with a pistol. Bad writing, and it was retarded for Batman to just strap himself into a gurney instead of just sneaking his way into the asylum. This is just terrible. I'm glad I didn't bother wasting my time leaving more comments under the video. You're just excusing shitty writing, bro.
It doesn't matter if he can take down Scarecrow or not. What matters is that people he cares about would get shot if he tried.
Again, play the other... Is Arkham Knight the only game you played, SK? Is it the only Batman Arkham game you played? Because there are multiple moments in the series where Batman saves people being held hostage. Fucking idiot.
Being the aggressor when people are held hostage, you risk them dying.
There's plenty of videos on YouTube where there's aggressive stealth in the Arkham games. Is SK like a Gen Z baby or something like that? Because I don't think he's played the other Arkham games, because there are multiple moments where people are being held hostage and Batman takes them down easily.
This is like expecting Batman in The Dark Knight just to run at the Joker when he held rape.
Well, this is a different version of Batman. The Dark Knight Batman is a lot more realistic and grounded. But in the Arkham universe, Batman is stealthy as fuck. He can literally he literally takes down an entire army in the game, by himself in one night. Oh my gosh, you're just fucking. I'm only 10 minutes in the video. I can't listen to SK's retarded excuses for the story. God damn, you're fucking dumb.